Welcome to another presentation of the Silent Sports video blog. This is episode 199. Today's date is September 17th, 2022. Thank you for watching right here on the Silent Sports Gaming channel. I'm Troy West, and thank you for joining me once again. Big show today. We look at the current MLB playoff picture up to the date. As some games went down last night. Some teams are separated, some teams clinched. We'll talk about all that in a little bit. NBA news, of course, the biggest NBA news of the week, the Suns owner getting banned for a year and getting a big fine, but some players think it falls short of what he should be really punished for. I look at the article, get my details on it, and my opinion. And I made a top 5 NBA forwards list. Now that the NBA sort of positionless basketball, I broke it down to forwards. And then we're going to do 2 guards next week, and then we're going to do the point guards last. So make sure you come in next week as well. But I posted on my social media my top 5 forwards list. I think it's, to me, I feel very strongly about this list. I don't have no doubt about this list at all. But we'll get into that in a few minutes. NFL news, some big injuries this week. Chargers had some injuries last Thursday night with their game with the Chiefs. Unfortunately, Jamal Adams is gone for the year for the Seattle Seahawks. TJ Watt, so there's a lot of injuries, so I'm just going to touch on it a little bit, and then week 2 picks. So I got my big 5 games here, which I'll go into detail about, but I'll give you all the rest of the picks for the rest of the week. And then just a few final thoughts. Some days coming up, maybe 2K23. I'm expecting to get that sometime Monday. So hopefully, maybe we'll do something special. Maybe I might go live through Twitch or something. So I've had more details about it. Probably Monday morning. What I decide to do, I'll probably do a live Twitch stream. So that maybe a little exhibition or something, maybe late that night or something like that. So but we got a lot of stuff coming for the channel as far as video games. Modern Warfare 2 is starting to heat up. Like I said, this said 2K23, so a lot of things coming, so definitely stay tuned to the Silent Sports and Gaming channel. And I appreciate you guys been supporting behind the scenes. Things just calm down. I agree, I admit that. Subscriber count is stay steady. No big jump, but hopefully with the fall things coming out, we'll get another boost. But shout out to everybody who supports the channel. So let's get started with the blog. I'm actually early today. It's only 8:30. So this might post before 10 a.m. I always say 10 a.m. because I usually don't start till about now, or like between now and 9 o'clock I usually start recording. And then it takes about a half hour to get it all set up and post it. But MLB, not a lot of big news, just the playoff, just to look at the playoff picture here. Let's start at American League. The Yankees still in first place, 87-57 state record. Despite their struggles, they still 30 games over. The Blue Jays been playing good baseball. Me knowing as an Orioles fan, I know that. They've been killing us, keeping us from making a run at that wild card. We're going to look at the wild card standings as well in a moment. Tampa has cooled off a little bit. They was hot, but they cooled off. But they got 80 wins. They in 3rd place. Orioles in 4th place in the East. Then Boston in the rear. And they 4 games under. The Central, the Cleveland Guardians got a little cushion now, 4 games over the Chicago White Sox, who've been playing better baseball. The Minnesota Twins sort of fell off. Officially eliminated now is the Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. They are sub 60 wins, 57 for Kansas City, 55 for Detroit. Houston just last night clinched the American League West, and probably definitely going to be the 1 seed in the American League. They quietly playing some good baseball. I think they even playing better than the Dodgers, to me. Justin Verlander's like he stepped in the time machine. Awesome performance from him last night. But the Astros clinch. Don't forget Alvarez too with the 3 home runs. that young kid. They was right to go ahead and give him his money. Seattle at 80 and 63, but they do hold one of the wild card spots. Then you got Texas and the LA Angels. Oakland is eliminated officially as they just over 50 wins on the season. We go to the East, the New York Mets, 91 and 55. They got a 1-game lead over my Atlanta Braves, who's been playing good baseball. They won again last night. Phillies at 80 wins. I think they hold a wild card spot. Miami Marlins, which I got a Miami Marlins hat on, but I was trying to match my hoodie. So that's why I put the Miami Marlins hat on. But they at 59 and 86. They eliminated at Washington. 50 wins. Officially eliminated as well. St. Louis Cardinals, 7.5 game lead. Look like they're gonna win the Central. Milwaukee fighting for a wild card spot. I think they're a game out. I think I saw this one. I think I glanced at it this morning. Chicago Cubs at third place. Then Cincinnati and Pittsburgh officially eliminated. Dodgers clinched a playoff berth. They should have clinched the division. Oh yeah, they did. Okay, the division is clinched. Alright, so let me see Houston. So Houston has not. So I'm sorry about that. So I take that back. They haven't officially clinched the division yet. They clinched the playoff berth last night. So sorry about that. But they pretty much they 14 up. I think it's only like 19 games left, if that. So they're gonna clinch probably by this weekend. They're gonna clinch their division. Only division still really in question is the Central and the American League. The East too, because if I think Toronto, the way they play, they could catch the Yankees. I don't think it's going to happen. But they're the only two divisions in the East with my Braves. They still a game out. The rest of the divisions are done. Like, even though it's not official, St. Louis is going to win the Central. I don't see Milwaukee coming all the way back. Houston going to win the West. Like I said, it's probably only a game or two before they do that. I think Cleveland been playing steady, but 4 games, it's not a lot. And 5 games and a half is not a lot in the East. So really, they're the only 2 divisions really in question. The rest of them, 3 divisions. The rest of them is wrapped up. Even though St. Louis is not official and Houston is not official, but it's going to happen in a matter of days. Probably by next week, we'll be talking about division champions. So, all right. So let's look at the wild card standings now. So in the American League, Toronto is that first wild card. It's 3 wild cards again. I remind everybody this season. Seattle is the second one. Tampa is the third, but they only a half a game apart. Then the Orioles, which I mentioned, is 4.5 back. White Sox 6.5. Minnesota 7.5. And then Boston at 10. I just mentioned them because 10 is like my cut, but it's about to be for that. But I think they too far gone. Orioles still got a chance, but they got to start turning it on. White Sox, they probably still rather fight for the division. They closer to the division title than the wild card. So, and Minnesota the same thing. So those 2 teams are really chasing more in the division. I think the wild card might be out of realm for them too. I think the Orioles have a slight chance, but they got to start playing better soon. American League, my Braves. Plus 10.5, so they making the playoffs either best, even if they win the division or not. They're gonna be that top wild card. Philadelphia and San Diego are the 2 other 2 teams. Philadelphia 80 and 64. San Diego 79 and 66. Milwaukee game and a half out of that bottom wild card. Then you got San Francisco at 9.5 as they past Arizona. There's them in Arizona 10.5, and then that's it. I think everybody else will be seeing that E beside their name sooner than later. So that's the playoff picture for the MLB. Like I said, if there's any news next week, we'll talk about it. Just tidbit note. Albert Pujols at 698, he hit another home run last night. I really hope we get to 700. Albert Pujols was one of my favorite players watching him, and I know he's about to retire, so I hope he gets there. Speaking of retirements, Roger Federer retired and for tennis too. Well, I'm saying too because I'm thinking about Serena, and like I said, once I had more time, which I should make time for Serena because she deserves it. So it's like it's like I'm a hypocrite in a way. I should just, really I should do a whole show on Serena Williams. That's how much I respect her. But that being said, I just want to throw out that Roger Federer has announced his retirement as well. So, a lot of, just make you feel old. All these players, just while you watch, they start to retire, start to get older. Like LeBron James, I mean, he ain't retiring soon, but I mean, LeBron James the same age, basically. I think I'm about a year older than him. But, he's at his tail end of his career, just remember, you just basically watch these people grow up. Serena as well, like, pretty much grew up with him, in the adulthood. Well, for me, because I'm about to be 40 years old myself, so I actually see these people grow into who they are today. So just surreal to know that these people these athletes are on the tail end. Alright, so now we're about to cover a serious topic as we move into the NBA portion of the show. The Suns owner, let me get his name right, I'm about to pull up the article. I skimmed through it yesterday because I knew I wanted to talk about it today. I just been pretty much reading people's reactions of what he got. I know he got a year ban and what, a $10 million fine, something like that. I mean, something that to him is probably like $10. Let me make sure here. But the Suns, they lose their sponsors and stuff, cause I know they want the Donald Sterling. They want the Donald Sterling treatment. I know that's why. Okay, what is the exact? No, it's a year ban. What is the fine? I think it's 10 million. Let me see. Okay. But this goes 17 years. So let me read this part, because I think the article I just pulled up is PayPal, which is a big brand. They said if he comes back, they out. So I was reading that article, but this will probably be more detailed, like what he. I know it's a lot of basically racism. Yeah, so it is 10 million in 1 year. So now see, I mean, I think it probably should be more than what he got. The money should be more, definitely, because 10 million ain't nothing probably to this guy. But if he been doing this for 17 years, okay, this is like a timeline. Yeah, so I'm reading here, it's like basically he just was loose with his words, saying the N-word repeatedly. Like I said, if you go to ESPN, probably anywhere, but I'm on ESPN.com, that's where I pretty much get all my sports information from. Yeah, it was one conversation he was having about Draymond Green, and he pretty much called him the N-word, in so many ways. He didn't say it directly. He was saying because Draymond Green was saying the word, but he was saying the actual N-word to describe what Draymond Green was saying. But he was saying, why can't he say it? Because Draymond Green said it. And he was talking to, I think Coach Watson at the time. I think he was the coach at the time. Yeah, this was back in 2016. So it's like a big timeline of him basically being racially insensitive, toxic workplaces language, yeah, just inappropriate and monostonistic Yeah, just making it uncomfortable. Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna read all this stuff on here, but yeah, he was kind of loose, basically. Yeah, so he used that word multiple times, like, and this is back in 2016. But they said this been going on for 17 years. Yeah, so basically his workplace has been terrible. What I'm reading here, so I advise you to go read it yourself. But just what I've read so far, I don't know. I think the fine is definitely too small. The 10 million, that ain't nothing. But now I'm gonna be honest, and I'm a black man. Obviously, you see me on the camera here. He was wrong, definitely. What he did here is wrong, definitely. All these situations, like I said, there's so many stories I'm reading here. I'm on the fence as far as like lifetime ban, because I know that's what people probably pretty much alluded to. Nobody never flat out said it, but they compared it to Dollar Sterling. Dollar Sterling, what he did was just what he was doing. But see, the NBA didn't get him until he was outed, really. Like, everybody knew what he was doing. Like, everybody probably knew what this guy was doing. But if somebody finally did something about it. Like I said, that fine definitely, 10 million ain't nothing. I would fine him at least close to 100 million, something like that. Something that would hurt him. Because that 10 million ain't gonna hurt him at all. And him being away for a year, I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of owner he is. I mean, I don't really know him. I mean, if he was like a Mark Cuban, I think that would hurt him. Mark Cuban was very involved with his team. Like, if he was an owner like that, like a Jerry Jones, I'm going to the NFL now. Like, if owner that really cares, not saying this guy don't care if the Suns win, but I really never heard of this guy until the last few weeks or the last few years. I mean, I've heard little stuff about this guy, like they was investigating him and stuff. But I don't really know him like I know some other owners, or heard of him, I should say. I guess I'm gonna put it like this: lifetime ban. If he got the lifetime ban, fine, because he's stupid. Like, you can't treat people like this. Say that, say the racially insensitive things. Like, I read something about he was basically talking about his wife, how his wife would give him oral sex, all types of crazy crap. Threatened to fire people when he didn't get his way. Like, he was basically a tyrant. And I just read a little bit of it. I didn't read it all. So it might be thousands of situations. So, and it's been 17 years. So I get it. Like, the lifetime ban, I wouldn't bat an eye at it. I'm sort of on the fence about it, because I think with the stuff that Dollar Sterling found out that he was doing, that was like, even though it was outside the NBA, and I think that's probably why the NBA had to do it. How he was denying people homes because of their race and stuff like that. The stuff he said about Magic, not saying that, because Magic is actually, it is a part of the NBA, but I'm just saying, like, not saying, if he said it about any man, it's wrong, but for that to come out, like, if he had somehow stayed with the Clippers would be, who knows what they wouldn't be this good, or be nowhere near. They would have the players that they have if they'd pretty much be a doormat franchise if he wouldn't have. I think the Suns, eventually they can get over this, but some of they, like Chris Paul came out and said something to LeBron James. Chris Paul actually played for the Suns, so I should say he ain't satisfied. He don't come back, but Chris Paul did his career. Let's just be honest. Maybe that's part of the reason why DeAndre Ayton wanted to leave at first, or they had the problems with him. Maybe the owner had something to do with that. So I don't know, but I know that money ain't going to do that. 10 million ain't nothing. But the year ban, it depends. I think it would make him maybe realize what he's done. But we'll see. I will see. All right, I'll go ahead and give him the 1 year ban. But if he come back and doing any of this stuff, like it should be, like he should get, he should get cut. You know. But unfortunately, this happens more places. Like look with the I was about to call them the Redskins, the Washington Commanders. You know, they just starting to get back on their feet. But the things Dan Snyder done. And he's still, you know, I think he's sort of banned or something. I know he got some fines and stuff too, but this happens all the time. Boss is treating the employees like crap, and so like I said, if he wound up getting a lifetime ban, then fine, that's his fault. He shouldn't have did what he did. But I think let's see how he, you know, is he really sorry about what he did? You know, see how he is in a year. If he come back with the same attitude, then yeah, he don't deserve to own the NBA team. He had to be stripped. So that's my stand on it. But just reading the little bit of stuff that I read, that's terrible. Some of the things that he said and done. So, so this story, you know, if enough people go get behind that they don't want him in there, it's going to happen. It might take some time, but it's going to happen. Like LeBron already came out, you know, if he pushes it harder. Chris Paul, even though Chris Paul, like I say, both of those guys, you know, at the tail of his career, but they still big pieces of the NBA. And Chris Paul actually played for Phoenix. So if they push that, you know, hard enough, unfortunately, he probably got to sell the team and bow out, you know. So this is a story we're going to keep an eye on. I'm going to keep an eye on throughout the weeks. Season started about a month. But I say if it does stay the way it is, if he comes back and do anything close to it, then Alex is just a stripper. See, I remember watching that video. He has a video up of him saying it's two different situations. I would play it, but I don't want to have to worry about copyright and stuff like that. So I probably just listen to it my own time and probably have a take on it next week, or maybe I'll do a short on it on my YouTube channel. Alright, so that's lighten up the mood. That kind of brought the mood down a little bit, because not saying that I suffer I do suffer at work, and I think I'm mistreated sometimes a little bit, but I've never been treated like that. So that's why I don't want to. I understand how people feel. I guess I'm not gonna, you know, if they think he should be lifetime banned, that's, you know, and he's been doing this for 17 years. So I get it, and it might happen. Like I said, this is not over. It's definitely not over by a long shot. But let's talk about my top 5 NBA forwards. I made a list. I pretty much threw it together last night, but once I really started thinking, I was like, this wasn't hard to me. This is probably, out of all the lists I've been doing, this is probably the most. I feel very, very comfortable about this list. Very, very comfortable. So this is me. They could be power forwards, they could be small forwards, but like I said, you know, the NBA really is positionless now, especially once you get to the bigs, you know. So let's start number 5. Number 5, Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat. Sometimes he played guard. See, that's another thing, because some forwards play guard sometimes. He played 2 guards sometimes, but I was to consider Jimmy as a forward, in my opinion. So he's number 5 on my list. What he's done especially since he's been in Miami, definitely like a piece to the puzzle that fits perfectly, like the culture that he has down there, hard work and stuff. So Jimmy fit in real well, and he's flourishing down there. Carried the Heat to the finals in the bubble, carried the Heat this year to the Eastern Conference Finals, which I thought they was going to win. I thought they was going to beat the Celtics, but the Celtics won that series. But you know, he disappeared a couple of times in the playoffs, but still, he's the one, you know, when chips fall, he's the guy that's going to fight for you. So he's number 5 on my list. Number 4, Kawhi Leonard of the LA Clippers. Really been gone for the last 2 years, but we all know what Kawhi is capable of when he's healthy, and when, you know, he's probably the best 2-way player still in the NBA. Very good defensively, can carry you scoring as well. I think he gets some criticism because people thought the Clippers should have won the bubble, but you know, under the circumstances, I'd give him a pass on that. But since he's been there, been in and out, a lot of people, because of the Spurs situation, they probably thinking he's over exaggerating this injury. But we'll see. He should have no excuses. He should be back. Clippers is probably, I wouldn't say a sleeper team in the West, but if him and Paul George is healthy, they still going to contend against anyone, and then the pieces they got around him. So, but he's still, some people even had him the best player in the league once he won that title for Toronto. But he's been a little injury prone. That's just, even if he's injured or not, really injured or not, he's been out pretty much off and on the last couple of years. So, but when he's at his best, he's one of the best in the league, period. So I put him number 4. Number 3, LeBron James. LeBron James still is LeBron James. Yeah, Lakers had a bad year this year, but we still put up LeBron James numbers. Like I said, I don't blame everything on Russell Westbrook, but no Anthony Davis. To me, that's what hurt the Lakers more than Russ play. At least he was out there. So I don't, I'm not hard on Russ like some of the other people are right now. I think not having Anthony Davis hurt the Lakers more. And then he's been hurt. LeBron was hurt last year a few times as well. So, but still to be top 5 player even today still. He said he become a better shooter. Like that was one of his weaknesses. He become a better overall shooter. Free throws still lack a little bit, but he's LeBron. He's gonna play smart basketball. Still a great passer. Defensively, not as good as he was back then. He's not as good defensively anymore. But still one of the best players in this league. So he's number 3. Number 2, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant started to get some criticism. Nets fell out in the first round. He didn't play well in that series against the Celtics either. He got he asked for the trade, but now he rescinded the trade. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to be going on with Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons. I really would like to see Ben Simmons play this year. I think that'd be a good matchup and a good fit for him. I think maybe a flourish in that lineup. But Kevin Durant, as far as one of the purest scorers I've ever seen in the history of the game, can pretty much score anywhere on the floor. I ain't gonna talk about the all-court stuff, the trade, and I think sometimes he could be a little, he could poke him a little bit easier than other players. But at the same time, with the social media era, I think you should be able to clap back if somebody clap on you if you disagree. Sometimes you just disagree, but some people, think athletes supposed to always just be quiet. You know how that is. So, but I respect him. I think he's number 2 on this forward, number 2 in basketball as a player. Just unbelievable how he can score the basketball. I think the Nets, if everybody come back, focus. Kyrie, Ben Simmons, the little pieces they got around them, I think the Nets will still be a factor in the Eastern Conference. So Kevin Durant's number 2. And then at number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, of course. There should be no question. He's the best player in the league right now. This guy is just a freak of nature. We heard about the Get With Arena State. I think I touched on it last week. That's just ridiculous. This guy is look like a Greek god. I think some people call him that. He definitely stays in shape. His shooting could improve, but his shooting has improved though, slowly but surely over the years. Excuse me, sorry about that. But he can just, one thing Gilbert said that was kind of right. He is stronger and faster than everybody. So what? That's it. He used that very well. Still averages same numbers that Durant averages. Durant probably just a little bit more efficient, but Giannis did what he got to do. I still think if they wasn't injured last season, they would have made it probably all the way to the finals. And I think healthy, I think they would have probably beat Golden State. That's just my opinion. But he's definitely focused. He was over there playing in Greece. He looked like his old self. So Bucks will be a contender as well in the Eastern Conference. So the Eastern Conference will be very interesting next year, with teams that potentially could be there and teams that's on the rise. So, all right, so let's recap my list. Jimmy Butler at number 5, Miami Heat. Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers, number 4. LeBron James, number 3 for the LA Lakers, number 2. Kevin Durant for the Brooklyn Nets, and number 1, the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best forward in basketball, the best player in basketball, in my opinion. So next week, like I said, we're gonna do 2 guards. That might be a funny list to do because some guards play both, just like with the forwards, and then we're gonna do point guards last. So that's the next 2 weeks of my list that I'm gonna do. All right, let's move on to the NFL. Making decent time. I think I got about 30 minutes left. Let's talk about the NFL injuries. It's been, the NFL always have injuries. Let's flip over to my NFL page. But yeah, like I said, the Jamal Adams injury sucks for the Seahawks. Seahawks played their hearts out, won that game Monday night against the Broncos. But unfortunately, they lose him for the season. Justin Herbert, the little rib cartilage damage, but they say he's day to day, so that's not bad. Bucks with their injuries. Chris Godwin, Sage Kamara, he might not play again in that game. That's a big game. We're going to talk about that game in a minute. Buccaneers Saints. So there's a lot of injuries going around. TJ Watt for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think he's going to be out for a while. Dak Prescott going down as well with his thumb injury, but they say he might be back within a couple weeks. They said there's a small fracture at the bottom of the thumb, which I heard this week, because the Cowboys, they talk about the Cowboys or every channel 24/7. So just to throw it out there, it's just week 1 and all these injuries happening. That changed the Cowboys season. Hopefully come back sooner than later. But all those injuries are impactful for all those teams. So it just sucks the NFL, because somebody's gonna get hurt. Some big name always get hurt every year, sometimes for the whole year. It's a la Jamal Adams. So and unfortunately there's gonna be more. Let's hope it ain't too many this season, because it kind of messes up the game. Like, it make you wonder, well, if this person was here, how would it change the game or not? Even though football, like baseball, is really a taste. When I say basketball, it's not, but you can pretty much somehow get by sometimes without your best player, by scheming or playing to your strengths. In basketball, you lose your best player, you're pretty much done. Like, there ain't nothing you can do. You can't scheme in basketball as much as you can do in football and baseball. So, but hopefully, week 2 will be better. We won't have so many injuries. Alright, so with that being said, let's get to our week 2 picks. Let's take just a quick look back at the Chiefs-Chargers game. Chiefs winning 27-24 on Thursday night. Big game for the Chiefs. Big win for the Chiefs. They was number 2 on my power. They got Bills 1, Chiefs 2, Buccaneers stayed at 3. Then I dropped the Rams to 4. They was 1 last week, the preseason standings. And then I tied for 5th. I had Minnesota and the Chargers. Now the Chargers lost, so they probably gonna fall. We'll see what the Vikings do this week against Philadelphia. Now if they win that game, and let's just say the Rams lose, they can move up. I just like the Vikings this year a lot. I say you put them over the Packers. Like I said, you notice I said about the Packers. So and they just beat the Packers. So if the Packers would have won that game, they probably would be in this list. So but I always focus on 5 teams. So to me, like I said, I think I did an decent job. Ain't nobody pushed back, at least not publicly. So but let's get to the picks, because time be going fast sometimes. So Like I said, I pick all the games. Um, I pick out 5 games that I go more into detail about, and I got them listed here. Actually, we're about to talk about one right now because it's our first game on the docket. The Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I put this on the Big 5 because the quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, he's playing for a contract, even though he shut down talks. So, but still, this is a huge year for him. He stepped it up in the second half last week against the Jets. Started off slow, but stepped it up, throwing the football. Tua Tagovailoa, he got a lot of question marks. All the rumors in the offseason, they tried to get Brady. Lamar Jackson even rumored to go to Miami next year if somehow he gets out of the contract with the Ravens or he don't sign it. Even though I don't see it happening. I see it as a possibility, but I don't personally see it to happen. So this is a big game for that. Just a lot of storylines with it. And in the AFC, you don't want to start. I mean, they both start off 1-0, but if one of these teams can get to 2-0, especially if it's Miami, I think some people probably try to put them against the Bills, even though I think the Bills are light years ahead of every team in the East, in the AFC East. Ravens, if they lose this game, the Browns, like I said, I think they're going to be feisty. We'll see if Cincinnati can bounce back this week. Even though they lost to Pittsburgh. Steelers, like I said, because of that defense, they're going to compete too. So this is a tough division. So I think Miami can survive the loss more than the Ravens can. But I think it'll be more that, I think the Ravens, if they lose this game, I think they'd still be okay too. I still think they'd be right there, but it would be really, really big if you could get to 2-0. So that's why I put this game on the Big 5 list. But that being said, Ravens 3.5 favorites. I think that sounds about right. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's Miami going to challenge them more on both sides of the ball than the Jets did. I think the Ravens win it. I'm not going to, like I said, I don't like giving out scores. I just think the Ravens go away. I think they covered at 3.5 though too as well. Jets at Browns. This is an interesting game. Like I said, I like the way the Jets played last week. But the way Flacco looked, he didn't give me any more confidence. I think Myles Garrett going to be all over him. I think we're going to see a strip sack at least once in this game. Cleveland 6.5 favorite. Maybe a little high. But I think the Browns will win this game and go to 2-0. Commanders at Lions. This is an interesting game. I almost thought about putting this game on the list. Commanders pulled out the win against the Jaguars last week. Lions, you see that they fight again. They lost to the Eagles, but 35 points. I give Jared Goff his credit. He played well, but just too short, not enough. I think Detroit go win this game at home. I think Washington, I think Carson Wentz in that environment, and I think he ain't gonna play as well. I think the Lions gonna win this game. 1.5, I guess that's fine because this could be a coin flip game. I think the Lions will pull it out at home. Okay, this game is on my Big 5. Buccaneers at Saints. I just said something about Alvin Kamara is questionable, so that'll hurt the Saints offense. Buccaneers defense played well despite them hurting Dak Prescott. I think the Buccaneers defense is underrated, but I think the Saints defense is the truth. I'm gonna go with the upset here. I think the Saints win this game. I didn't like the way Tampa looked on offense. No Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is also bruised up. I think Brady went to allow in the run game. I think the run game too inconsistent for the Bucs. So I think, and the Saints owned them really since Brady been there, especially in the regular season. Tom got his revenge in the playoffs. The Buccaneers did, but it's not the regular. It's not playoffs, and in the Superdome. So I got the Saints winning this game. They go to the 2-0. I think the Buccaneers will be fine. I think the Buccaneers going to, start off a little slower. I think, they're going to turn it on at the end. I still think they're going to win the division too. So, but I think they're going to lose this game to the Saints tomorrow. Tampa's 2.5 point favorites, by the way. Panthers Giants. I like the Giants here. I thought Carolina would beat the Browns last week off of motion, just like how. Well, I guess it was the same because Seattle beat Russell Wilson, so against his old team, and then Baker lost his game against his old team. But I think the Giants, the Titans, even though, like I said, I don't think the Titans are as good as they've been the last few years, but I respect Mike Vrabel. The Giants coach, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but they just feel different. They feel like they're gonna be a fighting team this year. So the Giants might, surprise people this year. I think they're gonna start to it. I think they're gonna get this win at home. They're 2-point favorites. That's a good line for that game. Patriots Steelers, because of the two names, I thought about putting this on the Big 5 list, but it's not. The way that Steelers defense look, I think they go beat the Patriots. Patriots 2.5 favorites, which I don't see how. They don't have TJ Watt. Like I said, the Steelers don't have TJ Watt, but they still got a lot of good pieces on that defense. I think they're gonna shut Mac Jones down. I don't see how the Patriots gonna score enough points. I think the Steelers probably get some points off defense. Mr. Trubisky got to play better. He got to play better. He didn't play that well last week against the Browns, but the Browns got a decent defense. The Patriots defense not bad either. I think it's going to be a low score game. Probably both teams be under 20, but I got Pittsburgh winning though. Colts and Jags. This is a core flip for me, but I'm gonna go with the Colts just because I think they just a little bit of a better team. But tying with the Texans, that was kind of weird. Matt Ryan couldn't make the big play, but I think they're going to come in a little bit motivated. Jaguars played well. Should have won that game to me against Washington last week. I just think the Colts is a little bit better. I think it's going to show in this game. I think 3 points is a good line. I think they win in a tight one on the road. Falcons Rams. I think this is the Rams get back game. I know they didn't like the way they looked against the Bills to open up the season on a Thursday night. I think they bounce back. Falcons, to me, also a team that's going to fight. They're not going to be no rollover. 10.5 to me, 10 points to me is too much. I think it'll be closer than that, but I think the Rams will win this game and bounce back. Seattle at San Francisco. This is a tough one for me as well because I didn't like the way San Francisco looked. They are at home though. I think Seattle though put a lot of energy into last week's game. They wanted to beat Russell Wilson so bad. I think that's going to affect them this game. I think the Niners bounce back. I think they beat the Seahawks. That 9.5 though, that's way too high. I don't see why that. I will go a little closer to like 5, 4, 3 points. 9.5. I would definitely take the points in this game. I think it's going to be closer than 9.5. But I think San Francisco will win the game though. They got them as the favorite. This made my big game. This Cincinnati at Dallas. Like I said, Dallas. No Dak Prescott. I think it's that simple for me. I think the Bengals win this game. Joe Burrow, again coming in off kind of a bad game. Still almost won that game, by the way, against Pittsburgh, despite all the turnovers he had. He had 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, I believe. But I think he's going to bounce back. Dallas defense pretty good though, but I think that 7 points is a decent. Could Cooper Rush really carry this Dallas offense? Dallas need to get that run game going. They get that going, maybe they have a shot, and the defense could keep it close. But I don't think so. I think Cincinnati win this game pretty easily. I think 7 though is a good number. Texans at Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Broncos here. I think they're gonna bounce back. I think it was so much emotion there in Seattle, and like I said, they almost still won that game. But I think the Seahawks, it was like the Super Bowl is, the pun they always say when you put a lot of energy to a game with a win. But the Texans don't look like a pushover. But Denver is always hard to beat the Broncos in Denver, and then I think Russell Wilson gonna bounce back. I got the Broncos with it. 10 points might be a little bit too high, but I understand it. Cardinals at Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Raiders here. I think the Raiders gonna bounce back. Cardinals, I like the Cardinals. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's just too much going on behind the scenes. Like I said, I think not having DeAndre Hopkins hurts. And I think the Raiders at home, I think they bounce back and win over the Cardinals. This is on my on my Big Five list, so I'll talk a little bit more about this game. Like I said, I just think the Cardinals defense, even though Kansas City is a good offense, I think the Cardinals defense is just not up to par right now. And I think Derek Carr going to bounce back, have a big game. Maybe Jacobs will get loose as well. And the Raiders, even though Vegas, you would think Vegas is a little lapsed, but some of the games I've seen, Raiders fans everywhere. They're just like Steelers fans and Cowboys fans. They get to that stadium and fill it up. So they have real home games. It's not like Los Angeles, like what the Rams are dealing with. Even the Raiders are like that. If the Raiders was in LA, they would definitely have a home crowd. I don't think it'd be like, not saying that, not trying to use the Hollywood thing, but I think, Rams fans are kind of Hollywood, Now, Raiders fans are, like Bills fans, I guess, compared, like jumping through tables, doing crazy crap. They real fans. Not saying that you can't be a real fan and be lax, but it's going to be an environment there. But I think the Cardinals just got a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I don't like. And I like them team overall. And I think they still could probably make a push. And their schedule's tough, and this is another tough game. I think they fall. I think it's going to be close, though. 5.5 is a good number. Bears at Packers. To be honest with you, I think the Bears got a shot to win this game. I think that 10 points is too high. Now, we'll see how Minnesota look Monday night. We're about to talk about that game. But the Bears, to me, looked okay. It was, the weather, everybody giving credit to the weather as well, which might helps. It helps with some teams, how the weather is. I like Justin Fields, too. I think he's going to wind up being a decent quarterback when it's all said and done. But I guess I'm going to put it like this. I believe in Aaron Rodgers, so I think Aaron Rodgers is going to turn it around somehow and get this win for the Packers. But I think it's going to be tighter than everybody think. This 10 points is too high. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be closer, maybe within a touchdown. But I think the Packers pull it out and win it, bounce back. All right, we go to Monday night. It's 2 games this week on Monday night, which is a rarity. Usually it's just 1 game. They did this last year, kind of confused us. Had a 1 game Monday night because they was doing it on the week 1, give you 2 games, doubleheader, almost like a early game and a late 10 o'clock game. But now this second year in a row they did it like this. It's 2 games pretty much close to the same time. 7:15 kickoff, Titans Bills. I'm gonna talk about that game right now. Bills to me looked very, very sharp. Other than the 2 turnovers Josh Allen had, but still blew out the Rams with no problem. Titans to me, like I said, I think they're gonna go as far as Derrick Henry can carry them this year. I respect Mike Vrabel though. I think they're gonna show. I think the 10 points. I don't want to say it's too high, but I think this could be a tight game because I really like Mike Vrabel as a coach. I think he and Mike can bridge that gap a little bit. Derrick Henry going to have a monster game. Bills defense ain't no joke. I think gotta take the ball out of Tannehill's hands unless you have to go to him. I think the Titans should just run the ball, try to keep this game close. Hopefully their defense can slow down Josh a little bit, but the way he looks comfortable. This has the potential to be a blowout, but I think I'm gonna respect the Titans enough that they're gonna keep it closer than the 10 points. But I think the Bills still win with no question. Alright, so this is the final game of the week and my final Big 5 game of the week. But this is a huge game in the NFC because, like I said, the NFC is wide open. So whoever can win this game and get to 2-0 could really elevate them. But I think the Vikings need the game more, though, because I think the Eagles now, with the injury to Dak Prescott, you don't have to worry about Dallas right now. Washington, I think it's going to be, up and down all year. Giants as well. So I think if the Eagles wind up losing, I think they'd be fine. Minnesota as well, because you already got a game lead over Green Bay, but it's still Green Bay, so I think you want to get as many wins as you can, because the Packers ain't going to really go nowhere. With all that being said, though, Philly is a 2-point favorite. I'm going to go with the Eagles just because they're at home. If this was in Minnesota, I probably would pick the Vikings. But it's in Philadelphia, their first home game of the season. Now that it's like I said, I'm in Baltimore, so I'm not too far from Philly, so I know it might be a little, just a little bit of, a little bit of windy, a little chilly there. Not saying it's gonna be cold, but you're gonna feel that weather. They used to playing in the dome. I think all that affected in. I think Jalen Hurts got to play better though. As far as throwing the football, the Eagles gonna run the ball down your throat. If you can do that, that's fine. But I think he needs to have to. I think in this game you have to make some plays because Minnesota offense gonna challenge you. And the way they gave up 35 to Detroit, that's why I think Minnesota can win this game. But I ain't gonna lie, Kirk Cousins scares me a little bit because I think now a lot of people get behind the Vikings, so the expectations is higher, and that's what they usually to fall short. So all that big combined, I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota win this game because I really like Minnesota. But the winner of this game to me is going to be that third team in the NFC. I still think Tampa's going to be there. I still think the Rams about to bounce back. But other than that, but seeing how those two teams look, it's even more wide open now. So this is a huge game for it to be a week 2 game, and I think the Eagles will prevail and win this game, and that's close. Yeah, I think this will be a great Monday night game, and it's on ABC, so thank God I can watch it. So I'll be glued in watching this game for sure. All right, so we got through week 2. We got through our week 2 picks. I make my picks every week, so definitely check me out. I wanted to do a pool this year, but I'm just gonna scratch that. I ain't download the app this year, so and like I said, nobody played with me last year. The last 2 years, I think I did the last 2 years, and didn't get a response. So, but you can come back and look at my picks if you were interested in them. I appreciate you guys so much. We got about 10 minutes left, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Final thoughts, like I said, every time I get a chance to bring up Serena, I will. Even though I'm using Fives Afraid to bring up this time, but 2 great tennis players retiring. Now Roger Federer announced his retirement. I think after this tournament coming up, he's going to retire as well. Like I said, he's one of the best I've ever seen as well. Him and Nadal, as they battled, he came in right when the Agassi, Pete Sampras era was ending. Men's tennis has been down, I don't want to say down. It's been down lately because there's no Djokovic. But them 3 guys, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, especially with Federer and Nadal first. Djokovic kind of quietly, just came up. And I hope he's able to get back. I think his status, because his vaccination status and all this other nonsense. So hopefully he's able to come back and play. But those 3 guys are great. But I still don't put them over my girl Serena. Like I said, I'm gonna have to set aside some time to really talk about Serena. Like I said, maybe when the baseball season ends, I have more time to talk about it. But just congratulations to him. Like I said, just made me feel old. That he's about to retire. I remember when he first started playing. So just make you feel old. That's all. All right, let's talk about the channel a little bit. Today, I'm gonna do a Madden NFL 23 video. Buffalo Bills is the season, so you just see that they're gonna play the Titans. So this week 2, so it'll be the Titans. I'll probably try to record around noonish, so it might post. I'm gonna split it into 2 halves, so it might post by close to 1:30, 2 o'clock. So look out for that. Not gonna do MLB the show, but like I said, I'm gonna try to do 2K Monday. Like I said, I have more details Monday. I don't know, I'm gonna have to probably move some stuff around, make some room, get rid of some games. That's why I'm hoping I can finish the BioShock project first, because then I can have some room to get rid of that, and maybe 2K would be fine. Because 3-4 games, that's huge. I'm gonna have to get rid of some stuff. Some gonna have to go. You'll still see Sonic Origin videos. Like I said, we still got a lot more content for that. Like I said, the Ninja Turtles, we see that slowed down. So you might just see a few live streams from that here and there. Maybe if I do an arcade run online or something like that, I'll post that. But I'm gonna look into this Kawabanga collection as well, because that's already available. because we could play Turtles in Time. I think it's on it. The old Ninja Turtle games I never even beat. So it'd be kind of cool to play those games again. So I'm definitely going to get it, but don't have a timetable on that. Everybody know about the Call of Duty beta, Modern Warfare 2. I will be getting that game, of course, but it don't come out till October. I was going to have the beta set up, but just couldn't do it. So you had to pre-order it first, which I'm still gonna pre-order mine, but I just haven't done it yet, so I missed the beta. So if I did, I would have probably posted some stuff on it, but fortunately can't do it. So hopefully, like I said, the Fall God of War is coming. That's about 2 months away, but about a month and a half. Ragnarok, so that's coming. So we got a lot of content coming. So just y'all guys bear with me. Keep showing the support. Shout out to TPQD. Shout out to Helping Us 888. 2 other YouTubers, female YouTubers. TBQD is a gamer. Helping Hearts 88, she does tarot readings, just affirmations, things of that nature. Her channel has slowed down a little bit because she's dealing with some things at home. Like I said, I've had the same issues where I had to stop my channel. So hopefully she'll be back stronger than ever. I haven't talked to her in a couple of days, but hopefully she's doing well. My brother Darwan, he's gonna see him more once Modern Warfare 2 come out. You'll hear him or see him more on the channel. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming. So episode 200 next week. All I can confirm, we'll talk a little baseball. The playoff picture might be more clear by then, within another week of baseball games. Top 5 NBA shooting guards next week. 2 guards, shooting guards, whatever you want to use it. NFL week 3, week 3 picks and everything else. So look out for all that next week. So with that being said, guys, I'm gone. Look out for the Mad video today. I might try to sneak a Sonic Origins video in there. I really want to do a Bioshock video today, but I might do it at night. I don't know. I don't want to, like I said, I don't like confirming stuff when I don't know what's going to happen. But thank you guys so much. This video it should post is 9:24, so yeah, 10 o'clock will be around the time it'll post. So look out for this video, and I appreciate you guys so much. See you guys throughout the week and next week, and peace and love, everyone. Thanks for the support. Talk to you guys next time. Thank you for watching.